cycle detection in the linked list. So here are some basic concepts that we are using to solve this problem. In this solution, we are choosing two types of pointer, that is fast pointer and slow pointer. So basically, both these pointers initially pointing to the head of the linked list, and fast pointer is incremented by two values for every iterations. Also, slow pointer is incremented by one values for every iteration, and cycle exists only when the first pointer is equal to the slow pointer and next of the first pointer is not equal to null. Now see the example, though consider the given linked list. Here the 45 is the head of the linked list and the remaining are the elements of the linked list. Here we can see that there is a cycle exists, that is 46, 12, 23, 83, 76 and 38. They form a cycle. So how we can detect the cycle? Let's do this. So here we are using the fast and slow pointer. They initially pointing to the 45, that is head of the linked list. Now we know for every iteration, fast pointer is incremented by two values and slow pointer is incremented by one value. So in the iteration 1, the fast pointer is incremented by two values and slow pointer incremented by one value. So now fast is pointing to the 46 and slow is pointing to 32. Again for iteration 2, the fast is incremented by two value and slow is incremented by one value. So slow is pointing to the 46 and fast is pointing to 23. For iteration 3, the fast pointer again incremented by two values and slow pointer is incremented by one value. So the slow is now pointing to the 12 and fast is pointing to the 76. So again, the fast is for iteration 4, the fast pointer is incremented by two values and slow pointer is incremented by one value. So the fast pointer is now pointing to the 46 and slow pointer is pointing to 23. For iteration 5 again, the fast pointer is incremented by two values and slow pointer is incremented by one value. So here we can see that the fast is now pointing to 23 and slow is pointing to 83. So again we can see that the fast is incremented by two values for iteration 6 and slow is incremented by one value. So now fast is now pointing to the 76 and slow is pointing to 76. So we can see that the fast and slow both are pointing to 76, so their address are same and fast is equal to the slow. Also the next of the fast is not equal to null because it is equal to 38. So we can see that the cycle is exist. Now we can do this in programming. So in this we can see that we have provided a list node ahead of the node in the given function, that is a boolean hash cycle. So we have return type of boolean, hence we can return true if there is cycle in the linked list, otherwise return false. So we can see that this is the definition of our linked list. So by using this we can solve the problem. Now let's start. Our first condition is that if the head of the linked list is equal to null, hence the linked list is empty, so there is no cycle, hence you have to return false. So now if head is equal to null, return false. Now if this is not equal to null, then we have to use two pointers, fast and slow. So make this pointer list node fast, that is pointing to the head. Also list node slow, this is pointing to the head. Now we have to do iterations here, so we are using the while loop. In this we are saying that the fast dot next is not equal to null and slow is not equal to null. So here what we can say that we have to increment for every iteration we have to increment the fast pointer by two values and slow pointer by one value. Now first increment the fast by one value and check the conditions of the cycle. So here if the fast is equal to slow and fast dot next is not equal to null, then what we have to do? We have to return true. Now if this is not condition true, again increment fast by 1 and slow by 1. Now see here, for every iteration we have incremented fast by two values and slow by one value. Now check the condition. If fast is equal to null, then we have to return false because we have reached the end of the linked list, hence there is no cycle. So you have written false. Else, if this is condition is not true and we are not reaching the end of the linked list, so finally we have to return false. Now we have to run this code. Now we have to submit this code. Okay, so runtime is 1 millisecond and faster than 39.49 of Java Online Submission. Now, thank you.